Okay, it's recording.
All right, YouTube, so here's what I've been doing. Now I'm doing this for this video. I've just been using a t-shirt before, but I'm sure you're going to want some usage out of this if you end up getting that $23 bumper that I suggested. Now, one reason I suggest that, when same company, AutoSpa, whatever, has the big 10-inch one, and you got two handles on it like this, and that's going to take all of the finesse out of it for you, right? So if you want to just gorilla a boat and get her done, go ahead, get that one. I don't prefer it, right? I like the littler one because it gives me control, and I can watch what I'm doing at every little step, and I can get this part a little bit more than this part need be. So that's why I do it. There's a little applicator pad that comes with that, so like some people I'm envisioning actually use this to apply the wax. I'm not sure why you would do that. So here's what you do. You put just one little drop like that. Like that's, a dime size, something like that, on your pad. And then I stopped it right around, give or take, this rivet, right? So I'm going to go up to like right here for you guys, right? So I hope that I've got the camera in place and Teresa, say hi so they know there's a Teresa.
Yes, hi.
And you just kind of wipe it on in a couple of streaks. That's all you're going to need. Your buffing pad's going to do everything else for you. But get her on there. It's expensive stuff, man. It's like $50 or whatnot for a jar of this stuff. So now what you're going to want to do is be plugged in before you start your video, YouTube. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. What you're going to want to do is start this with the... I also want to point this out. I got a tarp over the boat right now because this little bugger is going to sling everything from... Please readjust that. Everything from microparticles all the way to not so microparticles everywhere, right? I don't want that on my nice 1977 brand new 458 hours on it interior. So all you're doing now for me is I go about this slow. Now there's a couple things you always want to think about. This here is called the travel angle. And that's saying that I'm going straight up and down right now. That's my travel angle, right? And I let this get a little too dry, but that's all right. Now, there's also a thing called a work angle, right? So that's if I'm tipping it one way or another. With this particular tool, you want to stay flat against the boat. It comes with a nice terry cloth bonnet. Does a good job. Now, this type of polish, this type of rubbing compound, whatever it is you're going to want to refer to this as, it breaks down the more that you keep doing this. So let's say that this started out at, say, 2,500 grit, right? It's actually going to go all the way to like 4,000 grit or something if you just keep at it. You do not want to over-apply this stuff. Right? And you can start seeing that I'm getting this mirror shine coming out of it, kind of already. Now, here's the other thing, pressure. I've been putting a little heavier pressure to get her started, but now I'm going to go as light as I can, and you're going to see that head is spinning now, right? Where before it was more or less just kind of vibrating. And again, I really didn't do a very good job at getting on this. You want to get on it real quick like and do smaller areas. You can't mess this up, YouTube. So even if you do make a faux pas like I just did. Now here's the next thing. You're going to want to stop going up and down and start going across. And I'm going to catch this. Don't worry about that. This little bit here, you can just either come and get it with your fingernail like that and then go right back over it. Another little piece right there. That's his mark in the boat. But I hope you see that I'm not going all spastic. Up here by the bump rail, you just kind of tilt your work angle, but your travel angle stays straight across. Your work angle twists up a little bit. And I saw a little bit of cloudiness over here, so I'm just kind of let it sit here for a minute. Make sure it's spinning, not just vibrating. And we'll get that here on the next pass. So that is going with the 1000, or the number one, I'm sorry. It actually goes up to about 3000 grit, I would say. And all we're trying to do with this is just get it to where that 3000 grit sandpaper was. We're trying to get rid of all the little marks that 3000 grit sandpaper left. And since this is going to be a bit of a longer video, shut your machine off while it's on the boat. Come down here and you're going to need to have some of this 90% alcohol. You get it, you know, $1 or $2 at the Dollar General, wherever you get your stuff like that from. Just, you know, pour a little bit on a rag. And all this wax that hardened up on me before I could get on it, I'm just going to wipe that off. Real quick, a hot second. And that's good enough. Alright, so people might argue with me on this next step, and that's fine. People argue with me all the time. But what I want to do now is go to the number 3, only because it works really well for me in the past to do it this way. And then I'm going to go back and do a number 1. So I'm going to put about that much of the number 3 on that. That stuff sprays all over. Make sure you do that in the pad. I'm going to do a little smaller area this time. So we're just going to do, say, right through there. That looks pretty good. We're going to get on it real quick this time. Now remember, this isn't my final number 3. I'm just doing this really to kind of get a read on what my next number 3 is going to be. But I think you can see already, even early on with the number 3, that you're going to get that mirror shine coming through. And also remember and keep in mind that after this stretch, we're going to put a nice marine grade Meguiar's wax on it. You could use Mother's, or maybe there's something else you like out there better. But I only put the wax over here, if you remember, YouTube, but that's all up inside this terry cloth right now. And like I say, it's a diminishing compound. So as you're using it, it's getting smaller and doing, you know, more polishing, less cutting. This doesn't really do any cutting anyways, but you know what I'm saying. But as you're seeing, you can shave in that, guys. You know, I don't have a great camera. I'm broke, YouTube. I'm straight up poor. I just wanted to show you if you're straight up poor too. You know what? You can do a good job. Just take your time. It's Memorial Day today, YouTube. I don't know when you're watching it. But I'm about 4 or 5 beers into it, and I've got a nice little lemonade drink Teresa just brought me. So, you know, I have a couple of disabilities, and I like to stay, you know, lubricated, if you will. I hope nobody takes offense at that. You do not have cryoglobulinemia. It's a super rare blood disorder. I deal with it how I deal with it. But I get my work done. It just takes me super long to do it. And there you go, guys. I think you can see from here, I'm going to do the number 1 again. I'm going to do the number 3 again. And if this is how number 3 looks right now, well, obviously it's just going to be shinier and polishier, right? And all these scratches, Teresa worked really, really hard. If you could drop that camera just a little bit, hon. All these scratches right here that you're seeing, Teresa, you know, and I, but Teresa worked really hard on those, and she has been paid many, many dollars to fix molds for boats like, Robolo. It's actually, Hobolo, no, Robolo is Hobalo, if you know anything about
Hobalo?
Portuguese. But Chaparral, Bennington's, she repairs the molds. So if you're talking
used
about
to.
somebody that can put a shine on something, she can do that. She just kind of let me do it for this. But my point about the scratches was going to be that, again, 47-year-old boat, I'm not entering this in boat shows, right? I just want to make it look real nice. This is as good as I want to get it, because if I go any further, I'm into the gel coat too far, and I don't want that, right? Because I do want to be able to maintain this boat and keep it up and make sure it stays real nice. But like I say, you can see the terry cloth in the reflection right now. I'm not even done yet, but that's how you take a boat from nasty to polishy. It's $32 for the pads. It was give or take about $30 for the sander. You got about $23, $24 at Walmart for this, $4.88 for the two bonnets. One of these is like $45. And one of these is like $52. You'll have to look that up. I did leave links in the previous video description. I'll also try to leave links for these two as well in this description. But with a nice coat of wax, this is going to shine like a jewel in a jewelry box, right? So this is a real pretty color, I think. Yeah, so there you have it. It doesn't cost $1 billion. You don't have to run out and spend $600-700 on tools. You don't need a fully enclosed, 20 by 30 cement floor garage to do this stuff in. I'm doing this out in what my neighbors would probably refer to as a pasture or a prairie. I don't even mow out here, guys, right? So we like to have the turkeys come in the yard. We like to see the deer coming in here and into the yard. We have every kind of bird you could possibly imagine coming through here. So, that's how we live. But this is what I do. This is what Teresa does. We like to do it, is take these older boats, make them back to where they're as good as new, maybe even a little better. We're going to get into the electronics and how to replace and upgrade those in here in a couple of videos. But, you can't also just be setting a whole bunch of stuff out in your yard that looks like shit. So, we wanted to make sure that the first thing we did was get the boat looking nice so that people don't think we're just like a boat junkyard or something. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great Memorial Day. You have a good one.